Hey there, how you doing? Charlie Winters here with horse racing and football tips for Saturday the 2nd of September. Well, once again, it's been a very disappointing day. I've had a real good study today, in between my chicken being very poorly. Fingers crossed for that. So, there's a football bet and then it's a chicken bet. A football bet and a horse racing bet. It's total stake £50. It's quite a lot of money. I probably wouldn't normally spend that much, but I thought stuff it. Let's have a blast. So I've had a real good study with the horses, and I did something similar to what I did the other week, where I looked at the results from this time last year. Well, they weren't exactly this time last year, because there was like racing cancelled on like the 10th of September. I can't remember what that was for. Was it bad weather or something? I can't remember. And then this time last year, there wasn't all the same meetings on the same day. So let me get into it. So I'm going to show you what I've done. In the description, I've put a link, and that is to this post. This post contains all the horses that I have selected for Saturday. So let me talk you through these horses here, and then if you want to hang around, you can see the bets that I've actually put on. So as you can see on the left-hand side, there's a number against each horse before the time of the race. Well, that's what bet I've put them in. So each bet comes to a tenner. So I'm just going to go through the horses. So first selection is in the 135 at Chester, and it's Percy's Lad. It won the race last year, but this year it's got a bit of a bad draw. It's drawn very wide. I've still kept it because I'm going for the angle of the horse being trained for the race again. Second selection is in the 430 at Chester. King of Tonga also won the race last year, but this time it's also got a bad draw. I think one of them's drawn 11, one of them's drawn 13, which is not ideal at Chester. But you can win from them kind of draws if you're well handicapped. And both these horses, in my opinion, are well handicapped. Bear in mind, all these horses that are in this section I call it's this time next year, Rodney. Basically, it's horses or the trainer that have won this race last year that have got a runner this year. So 5 past 5 at Chester is Seahouses. The trainer actually won the race with a different horse, and it won very easily. So the fact that he's got another horse in this race, he knows roughly the kind of standard of horse that he needs. The next selection is in the 527 at Newton Abbot. It's Caronel. This actually came second in this race last year. So that's the angle I've taken with that one. 6 Look at Wolves. Voltaic. Trainer won with a big price last year. I think it was Tony Carroll. Next selection is in the 5 past 2 at Beverley, and it's Americk. And the trainer is Roger Varian, and he won the race last year. In the 240, which I believe is the Beverley Bullet, Clive Cox won it last year, but he's got 2 in the race this year. Well, to be fair, I don't fancy either of them. I actually fancy Judicial, but it's not worth a bet in my opinion. And the final selection in this bet, bearing in mind all these aren't in the same bet, as I mentioned. The numbers at the side of the horses at the beginning. So look for the number ones, and all the number ones are in the same bet. So Seahouses, Americk, and 535 Dandy's Angel at Beverley. The horse jockey and trainer combination won this race last year. John Wainwright, Brandon Wilkie, and I'm trying to think of Dandy's Angel. So the ones below are my fancied horses, where I really like the look of these. I like the look of the ones above, but I really like the look of these. So in the 150 is 150 at Sandown is Ernie's Valentine. It's well handicapped, decent jockey, Oisin Murphy on board. Last time it was kept noticeably wide from a draw, I think 13 at Kempton. Basically it travelled much further than every other horse and still ran a decent race, apart from just fading last off. In the 225 at Sandown, I've gone for Nibras Angel. I'm just going to read my comments really, but yeah, this horse could be anything. It's won both its races so far. There isn't too much pace in the race, so if this horse goes to the front, it's a bit quirky and it tends to swerve a bit, or it did in its last race. It may get an easy lead, and then what I've noticed is there's quite a few horses in this race that are either held up or have been running over a little bit further. so they may get caught out if it's a bit of a stop-start race. Benoit Dillasea has ridden in plenty of decent races, and this jockey has ridden this horse in both its outings, both its winning outings so far. He knows how good it is, or it is so far. Clearly, I'm guessing he's had a word with the trainer saying he thinks it's Group 3 level, or let's have a go. And that's what I think anyway. The next selection is Gassi in the 3 o'clock at Sandown. Well, Gassi, I backed it a few times. I seem to only back it when it's unlucky. So yeah, I'll have this horse's name on my headstone. It's let me down that many times. So 4:45 at Sandown, Spanish Blaze. There's quite a few horses where the racing post rating is below the handicap mark. That isn't normally a very positive sign because it shows you that really that it's, in my opinion, that it's not run above or run to its handicap mark. So it needs to improve again. One horse that has run above its handicap mark, according to its racing post rating, is Spanish Blaze. It's trained by Marcus Trigonin, I think. I think it's Trevor Weenan on board, and it's got a decent chance. It's much shorter than I thought it was going to be. Actually, it is in my each way bet anyway, but it's only about 100 to 30. 5:20 at Sandown. I've gone for Razam. It ran 2 days ago. I think it'll go straight to the front and be hard to catch. It's very well handicapped. It's got plenty of speed. And finally, the nap of the day is Way of Life. I'm a big fan of Jonathan Portman. This horse is very well handicapped. It's plummeted down the handicap, and it's not actually even running that bad. As I said, I'm a big fan of Jonathan Portman. Yeah, it is definitely one to keep an eye on at Wolverhampton and Newbury. So let me just mention the football bet to you now. I want to show you the football bet now. So the football bet, as I always say, it's £6 treble over 2.5 goals treble, £3 over 3.5 goal treble, and a £1 over 4.5 goal treble. It's the same matches in all of the bets. So it's the Chelsea versus Forest match, Rotherham versus Norwich match, and Mansfield, as always, versus Bradford, because they always seem to score and they can't defend. So if you're interested in matching me stake for stake, so so bet one. So basically, I'm just going to scroll down these gradually. So it's a bit hard to explain that. So it's a 15 pence each way, lucky 31. I'm not going to read all the horses out again. If you want to stop me from scrolling, just press pause on the video. Then in the same bet, I've also had a 35 pence each way fivefold. The next bet is 40 pence each way Yankee and a 60 pence each way accumulator. Comes to a tenner. Americk, Sea Houses, Dander's Angel, and Way of Life. Right, that's it for the horse racing bets here, look. So I've had a 30 pence each way lucky 15, and then I've had a 50p each way accumulator, Gassi, Caranel, Voltaic, and Way of Life. And tell a lie, I've actually had a £1.12 treble on the football just to empty my account. And then finally, a 30 pence each way lucky 15, and then a 50 pence each way accumulator, Gassi, Spanish Blaze, Sea Houses, and Razem. Feel free to put the horses however you want to put them. I probably made it confusing last. I tried to make it nice and easy, but probably made it confusing last off. I understand that the last bet is probably not really each way prices, but I think they'll be bang thereabout. So yeah. So the very best of luck. Charlie Winters, over and out. Cheers, mate.